Every day, more and more road users are filming their journeys, which can often end in disaster. Pioneered by motorists in Russia and Eastern Europe, dashboard-mounted cameras are constantly recording our behavior on the roads. From the bizarre, to the ridiculous, the funny, to the downright dangerous. The thousands and thousands of dashcams around the world have captured just about every mishap you can think of. Now we're going to delve into this treasure trove of stupidity on the roads. Put things right by pointing the finger of blame. Replay the action to see what really happened. And of course, there's nothing like seeing other people's mistakes when it comes to helping us become better drivers. And please remember, on all the clips, yes, that's all the clips we show, no one, and that means no one, is seriously hurt. So drive safely. Not everyone is this lucky. Still to come on the show, more awful and objectionable road use from the four corners of the globe that, had it been isolated to Britain, would have resulted in the following serious contraventions of our wonderful highway code. Article 170. Take extra care at junctions. Look all around before emerging. Do not cross or join road until there's a gap large enough for you to do so safely. Article 242. You must not leave your vehicle or trailer in a dangerous position or where it causes any unnecessary obstruction to the road. The one about keeping your road-going vehicle on the actual road. And from Love in a Lay-By, my new novel that I'm hoping will be a 50 Shades size success. Chapter 1. A lengthy introduction. When the humble automobile was invented, it was done so to allow us to get from point A to point B that little bit quicker. However, as with all good ideas, this one has been abused over the years, with people constantly looking to make that regular journey happen even faster. So I've made it my job to shine a light on these imbeciles, and hopefully my hard work and dedication will help to rid the roads of these irresponsible speeders. A speeding Volvo. This won't end well. Although practical, the Volvo does have a fair bit of power under its bonnet. It's also a heavy fella, though, which I suspect will affect how quickly it stops. Thought so. Come on, mate. You've bought a sensible car. Drive sensibly. Christ, those bulbs are bright. I'm glad I don't pay the energy bill in this town. Speaking of things that are bright, this guy isn't. In case you were wondering, he's more of a 40-watt bulb. If there is one place it's okay to drive quickly, it's with like-minded people on the motorway. Wait, what the hell just happened there? Wind it back. We require a deep dive. Okay, pause. Right, I see what happened here. The chap in the black car for some reason assumed this tiny gap here was an exit, but it is in fact an entrance. I could make a joke here, but as I'm constantly on thin ice with HR, I'll just leave it by telling the guy in the black car he's a fool and move on. Disaster averted. Want to see an idiot high-speed undertaker get his just desserts? Of course you do. And for the glorious denouement? Car Crash TV. Satisfaction guaranteed. In this part of the world, the housing market has become so competitive, people don't even have time to look around before making a bid. It's just a quick drive-by, and then onwards to the next on the list. Don't even bother to put in an offer, it's already gone. And now a quick game of Guess the Car Component. And if you guessed the radiator, congratulations, you've won my respect and admiration. Something Neil strives for on a daily basis, but will never, ever get. The service station. It's a great place, isn't it? You can stock up on petrol and oil, maybe a bit of screen wash, perhaps peruse the paperbacks in the shop and find your next exciting page-turner. Maybe you could grab a tasteless coffee from the machine some soulless chain have installed in the entrance, or fritter away your hard-earned cash on the fruit machine. But the best facility that a service station provides is surely a location in which to make toilet that isn't the side of the road. I wonder which service this speeder was in such a haste to utilize. And the irony is, now he'll have to make toilet at the side of the road. In fact, he probably already has. The county of Yorkshire has produced many fine things. The staple of many a Sunday roast, the Yorkshire pudding, the delicious licorice sweets known as Pontefract cakes, and the popular indie band, the Kaiser Chiefs. Well, nobody's perfect. But this county's greatest achievement is the birthing of some of the best parking talent to be found anywhere in the world. They're proud of their motoring prowess, and they're not afraid to shout about it. Here's Jeff Bird.
Evening, lads and lasses. We start today in York, where one of the city's finest is showing off. Look how he positions his vehicle perfectly so as to maximise the free space. You might think he used parking sensors to achieve such greatness, but don't insult the man or the county. That sort of technological witchcraft is banned round these parts. In Dewsbury, the parking has become so good, the locals have tried to make it competitive. Here we have Dave Wright and Brian Barraclough going head-to-head in a game of last space standing. There's only one spot left in Old Town, and these guys are going to see who gets it first. Sneaky tactics from Dave, but Brian is not going to give up easily. There's pride and a meat pie at stake for the winner. Yeah, it's an unorthodox move from Brian, but by heck, it's paid off handsomely. Top parking, and like all good Yorkshiremen, they're straight out of cars to congratulate each other. Magic that, lads, magic. Here in Batley, the supermarket car park is renowned for its tight spots. To most, that will be off-putting, but the Yorkshireman loves a good parking challenge. And look at this, a pair of Mavericks are going for the synchronised exit. By heck, they've only gone and pulled it off. Different gravy, that. Meanwhile, in the picturesque village of Swillington, one of them southerners who moved up to escape the rat race is being given a lesson in parking etiquette. It's a harsh lesson, but it's the only way these foreigners will learn. We'll soon have you on right path, lad. We're just outside Leeds, and I don't need to say much here, except brace yourself to see a little bit of parking perfection. Lovely stuff. Give that man a rosette, he's earned it. And finally, a little bit of something tasty from the great village of Monkfriston. Parking at night can be a challenge, but this Yorkshireman embraces it with open arms. Champion. Now get yourself home, lad. Your wife's got a pint of mild and some faggots waiting for you. Tuck in. Jeff Bird, signing off.
On this show, we're very quick to point the finger at anyone who has committed an infringement. And usually these people are easy to spot. Look, there's one now. But there are a small selection of clips in our vault where those at fault for a faux pas are a little trickier to spot. But how best to utilise those clips? Oh, I know. Let's blame game!
So we start with a night scene, and I know what you're thinking. It's another obvious traffic light one. Well, you're wrong, so there. And they said this item had become tired and predictable. So, who's to blame for this imminent coming together of all things metal? Well, if we wind back and draw your attention to the road markings, you'll see that the lane on the left is clearly marked for a straight-on trajectory only. Which means I get to say blame to this silver sideswiper. Now, chase him down and give him a piece of your mind. Nicely done. Another night scene here, and you'll need a keen eye to spot the clue. Took me a while, but it is there, I promise. The collision certainly isn't in doubt, but the responsibility for it is less clear-cut. But look, there's a traffic light, and if we wind back a bit, we'll see it turn from green to red, indicating that it should be safe to turn left. It should be, but it isn't, because a red light clearly means nothing to this pillock unless he's seen one in a window in Amsterdam. There, it means go. Here, it means stop. So blame to you! I like this one, as it brilliantly illustrates to light jumpers that their antics do not pay. Let me show you how. As we approach the junction, you'll see the lights turn amber, so our law-abiding friend in the little blue car rightly applies the brakes. The chap behind him, though, clearly assumes our friend in the blue car is as unenlightened as him. You thought wrong, friend, so it's a scrumptious slice of blame pie to you. Tuck into its meaty goodness. We're taking to the city for our final round today, and this is a subtle one to end on. Look just there, you can make out the black SUV creeping into shot in search of his 5 minutes of fame. But is he entitled to his big moment, or do we need to clear him from the set? Well, if you cast your eyes to the top right of the screen, you'll see a nice big red light, which means it's blame to you, my friend. You are definitely not ready for your close-up. Well, that was a truly satisfying load of old nonsense. I'll be back soon to stick my big pointy finger at some more wrongdoers. Blame game out!
They say one man's trash is another man's treasure. They also say one man's meat is another man's poison, which I'm not going to lie to you, sounds very, very rude. But anyway, they also say one man's car crash is another man's work of art. And by they, I mean me, which means this can only be a roundabout and deeply convoluted way of introducing the art of the automobile.
Our first piece is the very aptly titled New Pants Please, and it serves as a stark comment on the fragility of our existence here on Mother Earth.
I'm starting the bidding at 500,000. What's that, sir? No, you don't get the guy's pants too. What the hell is the matter with you?
This is Kremlin Crash at 3 p.m, and although the title is simple, the composition itself is daring, complex, and challenging.
I'll tell you what's challenging. Trying to sell this garbage when you're only putting in minimum effort. We'll be lucky if we scrape together 100,000 for this. Sold!
Next, a modern piece now from the German artist Stig Klinsmann. This is groundbreaking video installation entitled Gridlock.
I'm not sure there's anything groundbreaking about calling a piece of dashcam footage of a car hitting a tram art. But we do have some Americans in today, so this might just work. Sold for 3 million to the morbidly obese orange man with a bad haircut and apparently simple mind. Actually, sir, don't I recognize you?
An early piece from Jean-Michel Basquiat now. His Danger at Dusk, a textbook example of the neo-expressionist movement. One for the purists, this.
More like a textbook example of how not to break, if you ask me. But what do I know? I'm just here to flog the thing. Yours for 600,000, sir. I'm sure it'll look great in your mock Tudor mansion. I assume you play professional football. Just a hunch.
And our final lot for today, the cheekily entitled My Kingdom for Some Sunglasses, one of Rembrandt's final pieces.
Have you been drinking again? They didn't have sunglasses in the 1600s, you moron. You tried to get us arrested? 200,000, a real bargain, sir. Well done. Right, grab his money and let's scarper. That dim-witted orange American is starting to put the pieces together. Coming up in the next exciting installment of Car Crash TV, there's a chill in the air in Ice Ice Baby. Some competitiveness in the air in Offroad Rodeo. And something unpleasant in the air in Big Rigs. But first, Dark Night. Open road. Surely no shenanigans here, right? Wrong. So what happens next? It's staggering. Welcome back to Car Crash TV. So what did happen next? Well, you've heard of a rabbit in headlights. Well, this is a deer in headlights. Much more difficult to run this fella over and turn him into a delicious stew, though. Looks like it's takeaway again tonight. Driving a car is a tricky bit of business, and that trickiness is heightened when there's a cold snap in the air. No, I'm not talking about my second wife, although she is just as frosty. I'm talking about those times when the temperature drops and the roads are strewn with ice and snow. Yes, when the air is sub-zero, you'll find yourself driving on Ice Ice Baby. When cocooned in the warmth of your vehicle, there are a few key things you can look out for that indicate there might be ice on the roads. 1. People will be wearing cold weather clothing such as coats, hats and scarves. 2. Car exhaust emissions will be much more visible. And 3. The less sensible drivers on the road will be doing this. Now just pull over and admire the idiot's handiwork. Lovely stuff. Of course, the best indicator of there being ice on the roads is when you can actually see it, right in front of your eyes. Alas, for some, even that isn't warning enough. And once more, do make sure you take in the cretin's craftsmanship before continuing on your journey. Working as an escort can be hard in the Siberian tundra. It's tricky to attract business when you have to cover up your assets to protect against the cold. Still, this guy seems keen, as does the fella behind us. So eager to make a deal, he's run into the back of the car we're on board. Fair play to these chaps for looking beneath the surface. Thoroughly modern men. I hate supermarket shopping. All that time wasted trudging up and down the aisles to browse dead animal flesh and fabric softener. As such, I'm a keen champion of online shopping, and it's reassuring to know that my delivery driver will stop at nothing to get my exclusive diet of luncheon meat, soup in a cup, and advocaat to me on time. A little bit of snow and ice is only a minor inconvenience, and a small family hatchback merely collateral damage. In this town, there's only one garage, so the same bloke does all the MOTs. And while Sergey is a friendly chap with a winning smile and reasonable rates, he literally knows nothing about motor vehicle maintenance, which goes a long way to explaining this mess. Brake pads aren't optional, Sergey. Somebody get Fit Quick on the phone. I found an opening for a franchise. They say that if you start to lose control of your vehicle, then you should turn into the skid. In case you're wondering, this is an example of how not to do that. As well as not really grasping the concept of brake pads, our old friend Sergey is equally lost when it comes to handbrake maintenance. Sergey, I've seen your business card, and I really think you're playing fast and loose with the term mechanic. America has a pretty bad rep amongst the international community these days. I can't for the life of me imagine why. But we shouldn't tar the entire population with the big orange brush that has its finger poised worryingly above the nuclear button. No, we should find the positives that come from this once great nation, like burgers, brown fizzy drinks whose name I can't mention, and of course their uncanny ability to turn even the most mundane of activities into a spectator sport. And to that end, let's tuck into another delicious helping of Offroad Rodeo.
Welcome, folks, to the 94th Annual Offroad Rodeo, and we start today in Buffalo. We're on the lookout for a newcomer, Ike Paulson, clocking in at the ripe old age of 18. Ike is a virgin on the rodeo scene and with the ladies. Here he comes now, hoping to put in the type of performance that will attract some of those notorious rodeo groupies, but it is not going well. He has no control over his vehicle, and his ride is over for a pathetic 6 seconds. The groupies do not look impressed. 18 years old and never been kissed. Teenage acne really is a terrible thing. It takes a brave man to tackle these conditions. Perhaps Harv Bukovsky is that man. They say slow and steady wins the race, but frankly, Harv, you're taking the The ORR rulebook clearly states all rodeoers should maintain an average speed of at least 30 miles per hour, and you are nowhere near that. The spectators are not happy either, but it seems their boos have spurred Harv on. Which is his undoing. Harv has posted a respectable score of 22 seconds, but from the look on the judges' faces, it's a score that is not going to count. Sorry, Harv, they're going to rigorously penalize you for that run. Can North Carolina's sweetheart, Cherry Strong, fare any better? Well, this delectable dame is making a steady start, but wait, that's Harv Bukovsky taking his disappointment out on the little lady. Her run is over for a paltry 8 seconds, and Harv, I'm afraid you are going to be penalized even further. Next up, we have the favorite, Silver Fox, Florence Zimmerman. She might be pushing 80, but Flo won't be making it easy for anybody wanting to push her off the podium. It's a strong start from this salty old gal, but wait, there's a garden center up ahead, and the smell of freshly baked scones and the prospect of all those lovely potted plants to peruse has made Flo giddy with excitement. Can she keep it together in the face of such temptation? No, she cannot. Her run is over for a respectable 30 seconds, but she don't care. She's off to get her hands in some clotted cream and a nice rhododendron. Houston now, and we're riding with part-time rodeoer and full-time astronaut Champ Montgomery. Champ is using today's ride as his commute to work, but in the distance, it looks like his rocket is taking off without him, and that proves to be a distraction. Sorry, Champ, we saw you drift out of bounds, so I'm afraid it's not going to be our ride for this rocket man, as his ride is over for just 12 seconds. Our final rider today is Marlene Redmond. Mother of 5, Marlene has to combine her stage with the school run and the big shop, which won't be easy. She's making good progress, considering her 7- and 9-year-olds are currently doing battle in the back seat for the right to watch a cartoon pig on the in-car tablet. But the conflict has escalated, and Marlene's turned around to reprimand young Billy Bob and Jenny Lou, which takes her on the curb and out of the race for a mediocre 17 seconds.
Which means our winner today is Silver Fox Florence Zimmerman, who we will furnish with a trophy if she can drag herself away from the hanging baskets, scented candles, and calendars. Join us again soon for more Off-Road Rodeo. Yeehaw! Where would we be without the humble truck? Perfectly designed to transfer goods up and down the country to ensure we all have sustenance, entertainment, and items shipped over from China that you can purchase in a pub and take home to console yourself when your wife rejects your advances. But enough about the last 7 years of my miserable life, and on to the matter in hand. Yes, let's celebrate the big reason I don't cry myself to sleep every night. God bless the big rigs. Trams and trucks are mortal enemies, so when they both occupy the same stretch of road, conflict is inevitable. Phew, they missed each other. What a relief. And if you ever wondered why councils pile up snowdrifts at the side of the road, well, now you know. Have you ever wondered how effective the brakes on a truck are? Turns out, very. You'd think it might take longer for something that heavy to stop. Case in point. Yep, I think that truck in the previous clip was some sort of freak. This seems much more like the norm. I bet he's got a picture of a woman in her undergarments in his cabin too. I went out last night for a curry with my mate Dave. I had a korma. Dave, the vindaloo. Ooh, that's tangy. I can almost taste the lamb and garlic from here. Ultimately, trucks are just big, playful scamps. The one up ahead, for example, is playing tag with his mate. And much like on the school playground, it's always best to not try and join in with the big boys. Seriously, don't. The driver we're traveling with is currently involved in an ill-advised high-stakes game of hide-and-seek with a truck, and these big boys don't like to lose. Heed my warnings, people. This guy has decided to challenge a couple of trucks to the 1,500-meter dash to Makovska. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They don't like to lose.